Welcome to Elevating Lives. My name is Charles Evdos. I'm Executive Director of Rise Life Services. Today I have two guests talking about our suicide prevention program, Winter and Tracy. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Tell us a little bit
Thanks,
about the
Ross.
suicide prevention program.
Yeah, so the program we started just this year. We had our grand opening just a couple months ago. And the program, we received a state grant for it. The whole purpose is really to promote wellness and prevent youth and adolescents and young adults from really engaging in any kind of thoughts of suicide, actual attempts, or, and just enriching their lives. So we call it the enrichment experience, to help just kind of promote it, keep the stigmatism at bay, and really get them in there to help. And we do that through wellness groups, recreational activities, mental health, and really looking at the whole person, not just one part of it. So.
Tracy, tell me what part do you handle?
Hi, Charles. Thank you for having us here, Charles. It's very nice. For the enrichment experience, I am the family specialist. So when the participants come in, I do privately speak with the families. I do an assessment. I help to identify any issues that may be in the home to contribute towards stress. Any sort of stress in the home, we want to try to eliminate as much as possible. That will benefit the child. And that can vary. Some parents just really need someone to talk to, and I'm that listening ear so that they don't feel alone. Or they might need some extra assistance, whether it be an application for food, DSS services. Maybe they want to, learn to speak English, or maybe they want to join a parents' peer support group for a particular area. So I help look into those areas. I speak to the families a lot, and I help them really with anything that they might need some assistance with.
Yeah, that's great. What I find amazing, I believe the figures from last year were 216 individuals committed suicide on Long Island, which is terrible. And I know, my hope is that this program will really make a difference on Long Island. I think it's necessary. Losing one life is terrible, but 216 were quite a bit. Tell me how are you getting the word out? That, hey, we have this service, we're here to help. What have you guys been doing?
So we've done a lot of outreach via phone calls, emails, in person, Zoom, going there in person, community fairs, putting out flyers, old school, sticking them on poster boards, anything that we can do to do that. We've had a lot of Zoom calls with partners that are now our partners.
Yeah, we've developed a lot of partner organizations and have utilized each other. We help each other. So they reach out to us and will give us referrals for participants, individuals that they might feel need some services, and that particular organization may offer a support group of some kind, a teen night, and they invite us also to bring our participants. So we all really help each other.
So a lot of
I know,
networking.
I know the program's early in its start, but how many individuals have you helped so far?
So we have about 20 at the moment that we've been engaging with. We're getting them into groups and things, and it's gone really well so far. They're smiling, they're doing well, they're playing games, they're learning how coping skills and how to manage, big emotions and things, and it's really working out well for them.
Can you give me an example of one or two individuals that you've helped? What was their initial feeling, and what accomplishment do you see or improvement?
So we had a participant come in who had just moved here, lost a loved one, so there was a lot of grief and trauma from coming from another country here. We put them in our groups, so we have play groups where we play games and things like that and just get to know them. And this particular participant, we went over coping skills such as how to use deep breathing in order to calm self and to really kind of analyze the thoughts and think of that lost person and how to stay connected with them even though they're not here, and to keep feeling that. And now they come in smiling. The parent has reported that they're doing better at home and more engaged. So just that kind of connection, along with the mental health services that come along with our program, have seemed to have worked wonders with them.
How many staff are involved in this in this program?
Right now, we
We have
have 6 with one
Is a
volunteer.
volunteer.
And what are the other, 6 individuals or the other 4 really do basically? What's their, function?
Well, we have Allison, who's our team leader. Winter is our clinical bridger, myself, the family specialist. We have an outreach specialist who, will reach out and help build, get the word out and build rapport with organizations, schools. We went with one of the school districts yesterday to get the word out. We also have a peer specialist, that's the volunteer, who will really sit down and speak privately. Everything is anonymous. And we have our recreational therapist who works very closely one-on-one with the participants and with Winter. And they sort of commingle their groups in touching on some wellness and fun activities. So coming is not it's not,
Not a chore.
it's not a chore. They come, they have a good time. We see them smiling. So yeah, it really is. We have a lot of wraparound services. You're not going to find that in other programs. And that's the compliments that we're getting from other organizations, is the fact that we have a recreational therapist, the fact that we have a clinical bridger who does wellness, and someone that works with the families. Because that's not always how it is. A lot of times it's strictly clinical services, which is not strictly what
wonderful.
we are.
Now, the important word for me is anonymous. Can you stress that? I mean, what do we try to do to keep their feelings private and, not letting it out, oh my God, they had thoughts of committing suicide or whatever? How do we accomplish that goal?
So we just, we ensure that when we're talking to them or speaking to them one-on-one, it's not out in the open, it's not around, anyone else. No other participants are around to hear it. So if we notice, oh, you seem a little sad today, let's go and talk over here for a few minutes, okay? And then we'll do that. Also, any kind of documentation, any of that stuff stays within the team and those who are working with them. And it doesn't go anywhere without permission. So videos, photos, anything that we may use or want to use, we have to have permission from the caregivers or family in order to use anything.
Yes.
That's also why we tag it as the enrichment experience. Because you say enrichment experience, sounds like something fun. You say suicide program or suicide prevention
Right.
program, that automatically sends kind of, oh, well, you're part of that program. Right, so we try to keep it anonymous in their participation in that way as well.
So if I have that urge that I'm thinking about committing suicide, how do I approach your program and get the help I need?
Okay, so there's a couple of ways. We do, we've put out the phone numbers for our team and things like that. We also have Rise Life has a website for us now that you can go on there and you can self-refer yourself. We have hotline numbers that can be called. If it's an immediate need, obviously, we would ask that you call 911, use one of the crisis hotlines for like 988 for New York State,
Right.
or the national hotline, and get help and assistance in that way. We've been listed on other websites as resources and referrals. So if you went to Family Service League and possibly Dash, they could also refer you to our program. But you can also just call the main office and they'll get you to us.
That's great.
We've been in touch with pediatricians' offices, trying to get the word out through there, so that if there is someone who feels they're at risk and they're, speaking to their practitioner about that, they can give them an out. We've spoken to police departments, because if they come across someone that, maybe doesn't need to go to the hospital in a crisis, but that's where our program would really be beneficial.
Right.
So we have given our information to various police departments as well.
And this service is for all of Long Island or just Suffolk County?
So the grant is just for Suffolk County at this time. Our hope is that we will be able to expand at some point, but right now it is
Right.
for Suffolk County. For any youth up to the age of 24. And there are a couple of other eligibility requirements that we'd be happy to speak about. If they want to call, we can always talk about it. The one thing that I will mention is that the individual doesn't have to be actively suicidal. They don't have to be actively having those suicidal
That's a good
thoughts.
point.
We are a preventive service. We want to stop it before it gets to that point. So they have to just be at risk. And what that means is that they have to endure anything like bullying, any kind of physical, sexual, any kind of abuse, humiliating events, anything like that that may put them at a higher risk of thinking of or attempting suicide. That's it. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be active in that moment.
And bullying is a big topic. I mean, you see it on
Sure.
social media, in the news, whatever. I mean, let's say if I'm a parent, I have a child that's getting bullied on Facebook or whatever the social media may be. How would you handle stuff like that?
So we're developing groups about bullying, how to prevent it, how to be safe on social media, who to contact if, like a trusted adult, a guardian, a parent, a friend, if they start to experience these things. So if someone is in a chat room and they start just spewing, racist things, bullying, you're no good, those kind of things, how to just turn that off and let someone know immediately so they can contact, the provider, whoever that is. And then we provide the support, the coping skills that I mentioned earlier, but also groups on how to handle it, how to stop it and prevent it if you can, or even if you see bullying on social media of someone else and how to handle those. So really just getting that education out there and with help of schools, our program, and other agencies.
Tell me some of the sites or schools or whatever you visited to present our program.
Yeah.
Do you want the names of school
Yeah,
districts?
that'd be great.
We've met with Riverhead School District. We've met with William Floyd School District. We've met with BOCES. Southampton.
I believe we did Zoom calls with Southampton with their social workers and clinicians there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Various organizations, cast in Southold. I have been actively speaking with someone over at OLA, which is a group geared directly towards Hispanics and the needs that might be more specific, that is in that particular, Spanish-speaking community. They have a lot more Spanish-speaking staff over there, and they have a lot of, a lot of fun programs and fun things that, and moms groups for Spanish-speaking moms. So I do speak to OLA. So there's a number of organizations that we've also utilized and have been in contact with, in addition to school districts.
How have these, the schools, BOCES, whatever the, association or agency is, have they been receptive, basically?
Yeah, a lot of them have been. Everyone we've talked to is really excited about the program and what we're doing because it's a little different. There's no cost associated with it, so it's completely free for families to engage in.
That's important.
Yeah, so we are willing to pay for classes outside, such as dance classes, so we're a little bit like, we're unique in that way. And addressing some of the barriers like transportation, which is difficult for other agencies sometimes and things like that. So they've been very supportive. They've given us advice on how even to get further resources to get the names out, collaborating with other partners like YMCA and also like the Spirit of Huntington, those kind of agencies. They've given us all kinds of support, which we're very appreciative of, like just how to, better it, how to get it out there, because they want this service because there's not a whole lot of, services that are available for youth and young adults that are unique like this. So we really want to get it out there, and they've been nothing but supportive for us, listing us on their websites and just giving us ideas on how to expand.
Getting the word out is important, of course.
Yeah, it's a lot of networking.
Is there a cost involved in this? If I come in, do I have to pay a fee or insurance or whatever?
Yeah, no. So just like I mentioned before, the program is free. That's one of the best things about it. The only caveat to that is we're collaborating with our Elevations Clinic, which is our mental health clinic. One of the requirements is that you have to engage once a week in that, along with one of our activities. But if you have an insurance that the clinic takes, they will charge the copay to the insurance. If you don't have one that they take, or you don't have insurance at all, then our program picks up that fee. So essentially nothing comes out of participant or family's pocket. Any activities that we do out in town or out in the community, or if there's a class that they're interested in that helps self-esteem, let's say, we pick up that cost for them. So the program is free.
Now, do you provide the service at 901 East Main Street, or do you also go into the schools and provide, into other areas to provide the service?
So we're willing to do either. We do hold a lot of things at the agency right now, groups, play games, things like that. The weather's turning nicer, so we're looking to go to parks and beaches and things like that and do more outdoor things. Even the groups, more outside.
And I will meet with the families wherever
Yeah.
wherever it works for them.
Oh, that's great.
So we can do a lot of things out in the community. So if we have a cluster of participants in one area, instead of them coming to us for the enrichment part, we can go to them and do it there so they don't have to travel as much. So we're willing to do either.
No, getting the word out, I think, is important because individuals don't know about our service. We have to get the word out, and the more people that let us know, let us know about us, is going to help the program succeed and achieve the outcomes we want. So
Absolutely. I
That's
mean,
great.
it seems to be getting there. I even got a call from Nassau County, one of the doctor's offices there that saw us on the news here, and they have clients that live out in Suffolk, so they were wanting information as well. So the further, the better.
I know this is a one-year grant. Our hope is that the grant will be extended. We're working in collaboration with NYIT to possibly extend that into Nassau County.
It's so needed.
A larger program, which.
So needed.
How do you see that benefiting, people on Long Island? That's what it's
I
about.
think it'd be
Any
amazing.
growth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'd
any
be
growth,
amazing.
if there's ever a potential that we could open up another duplicate of our program, further west or further east, to open it up from,
Yeah. I'd really like to
more-
see
more
kind of hub
hubs,
bases.
sure.
If we can't get it completely out there,
Right.
right? That's my big dream, is just to have it everywhere.
Everywhere,
This exact
right.
service, but just to have a hub here where if we can't do that right away, because I know that's a big dream, to get, just go out and serve that part of the community, that part of Nassau County this week and that one this week, and expand our staff and things like that. It takes time, but I'm very hopeful that that will happen.
Would we also take people from Nassau County if there was a severe problem that we can handle? Are we allowed to do that?
So that's something that I would have to take up with our director. If it was severe, I wouldn't see a problem with it, because our whole goal is to help people, not turn them away. So I don't imagine that we would turn them away. We would just have to take it on a case-by-case basis and really kind of work those logistics out.
No, I know there were 5 agencies that received the grant for this program, and we were the only one on Long Island, which is, I'm surprised, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
And it's a great feeling that they picked us because of our reputation. Rise Life Services has come a long way.
Sure.
Both of you have done a great job so far, and
Thank you.
the team is wonderful. I really appreciate
It's a
your
very
hard
good
work.
team. We all work very well together. We all talk, communicate. There's no animosity. We can discuss difficult topics together without any, and it just works.
Yeah.
It
And
just
having,
works.
Having those different, because we all come from different backgrounds,
Yeah.
very diverse backgrounds. So it gives us a whole different perspective on how to, opinions and ideas on how to
Sure.
handle certain situations. So it's really
Linda,
great.
tell me a little bit about yourself, where did you work before,
Oh, yeah.
how'd you get into this field?
Okay, so that was a long story coming. Wanted to be lots of other things first, physician assistant, military, all this kind of thing. But essentially, someone who actually works for Rise Life told me, hey, you'd be a great social worker. Okay. So I did. So I graduated from Fordham in 2018, and I started working in Queens for another nonprofit called Safe Horizon as a clinical forensic specialist. So I did forensic interviews with children from 3 to 17 for those who had been severely abused in whatever way. So I did those interviews for NYPD, SVU, those kind of things. And I did that for 4 years along with my military service, and then I came here. I was
So you were
asked
in
to
the
come and
military
interview.
too, wow,
Still am, yeah,
Yeah,
20,
very good.
23 years, yeah.
that's great.
Thank you.
Tracy, how about yourself?
I started off in nursing. I actually was in nursing for a number of years, and then I decided to get my master's degree in education, special education, or minor in speech communications. Then I went back to nursing. I went back and forth. I'm still trying to find that right fit that could combine everything that I love. I worked in a lot of group homes. I come to work at Rise Life Services on the developmental disability side, working in the group homes with incredible staff, incredible nurses, incredible managers, DSP staff. I met some really amazing individuals and amazing coworkers over there. Then I found out about the mental health clinic that was opening. And then the enrichment experience, that was a spin, which is us, the spin-off of, from after the mental health clinic opened. And I was able to sort of combine my background, and now I'm able to work with everyone, and kind of combine everything. So I'm working, our participants in our program might be developmentally disabled. We have, we will not turn anyone away for any of those reasons. So we have, individuals that are, individuals that aren't. We accept everyone. So the combination of being able to work with families, work with participants of all different ranges is really an amazing experience that Rise has created.
And where can they go on the website? What site do they hit, click on?
On a regular, on the Rise website, Rise Life Services, we have, our program is listed under, it says Rise Against Suicide.
Rise above suicide.
Rise Above Suicide is where you would find our specific program.
So there's a
little tab for
So-
Rise, it doesn't say enrichment experience, it says Rise Above Suicide.
Okay.
Because that's really our slogan. We are Rise, and it really clearly defines what we're doing.
So they go to riselifeservices.org.
Right.
They click on the area that you just described. Our outpatient clinic, how is that working in conjunction with the suicide prevention?
So it's working out really well. We usually make contact with any potential families within 48 hours at the least, or really at the most, and the clinic will schedule them as soon as they can get them in with our clinicians. So we have LCSWs and a nurse practitioner, a mental health nurse practitioner for like medication management, things like that. And it's actually been pretty smooth and a dream. It's not difficult at all. So they've been very supportive and helpful, and as a clinical bridger, I go back and forth, and we
Right.
do meetings to talk about our participants to make sure we're on the same page, doing the same things.
So
Yeah.
what do we tell our viewers? How do we tell them to help this program, to save lives? What do they need to do?
Well, just really recognize
We're here.
the signs. Yeah,
Right,
and
we're here. If you need help, we're here. We're here to help. We're waiting.
Yeah.
Join us. Come, and you don't have to be high risk in that moment. If you're feeling something that's not right, come to us. We'll help you.
Well, Winter and Tracy, thank you for being on our show.
Thank you for having
And
us.
you're doing great work, and I know you guys are going to make a difference, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank
Thank
you,
you for
everybody,
having
for
us,
watching.
Charles.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.